Have you ever just looked up at the night sky and felt, well, a little dizzy? Like a faint memory of falling from a really, really high place? You know we're getting close to the greatest mysteries out there. So let's start this journey together, a voyage through the cosmos, to try and figure out our place in all of this.
You know, these famous words from Carl Sagan, they really just set the stage perfectly, don't they? We're talking about everything. The sheer size and age of the cosmos are, honestly, way beyond what our brains can normally handle. And somewhere, lost between that immensity and eternity, is our tiny little home.
Okay, now try to wrap your head around this number. 100 billion. That's the best guess for how many galaxies are in the known universe. And each one of those is a massive collection of gas and dust and, you guessed it, stars. Billions and billions of them. I love this phrase. The philosopher Immanuel Kant called them island universes. And it's such a perfect description, right? They're scattered, like sea foam on the waves of space, all huddled together in these clusters, just drifting endlessly in the dark. From really far away, they look like these beautiful little seashells.
So let's do some quick math. If you take those 100 billion galaxies and each one has, say, 100 billion stars, well, the number of possible worlds is just insane. You get 10 billion trillion. With numbers like that, why on earth would we, tucked away in some forgotten corner of it all, be the only ones? It really makes you wonder.
All right, let's begin our voyage. We're starting way out there, from an intergalactic viewpoint. We are deep in the realm of the nebulae, about 8 billion light years from home. We're basically halfway to the edge of everything we know. From here, our world is just a tiny shore, and the vast cosmic ocean, well, it looks pretty inviting.
Now, to get around in this cosmic ocean, we need the right kind of map. And for that, we use the light year. It's easy to get confused, but a light year isn't about time. It's about distance. Just enormous, mind-bending distance. To put it in perspective, light can zip around the Earth 7 times in a single second. So imagine that same light traveling for a whole year. That's 1 light year.
Okay, time to head home. We're turning our ship around. We're going to cruise through what's called the local group of galaxies, zip right past our huge neighbor Andromeda, and then dive headfirst into our very own Milky Way. But we're not aiming for the bright, flashy center. Nope. We're headed for the quiet suburbs, a remote, obscure spot near the edge of a spiral arm.
And here we are. We've made it. After all that wandering through the cold, empty, dark, we're back to this tiny, fragile blue and white world. And wow, is it beautiful? It's so rare, and it stands in such stark contrast to the vast, cold emptiness of intergalactic space.
And this is the thing we absolutely have to understand. For now, this is it. In all our travels, this is the only spot we know for sure where the universe has woken up and become aware of itself. It's here that we, who are ultimately born from the stars, have started our long journey home.
You know, our voyage into the cosmos didn't start with rockets and spaceships. It started with plain old human curiosity right here on the ground. So let's take a trip back in time to the ancient city of Alexandria, where one person, using some really simple tools, made a discovery that changed everything. This was the puzzle. It's a simple question that popped into the head of a guy named Eratosthenes. See, he had read in a book that way down south in a town called Syene, on the longest day of the year, a vertical stick would cast no shadow at high noon. But he knew, just from walking around his own city, Alexandria, that at the very same time, sticks did cast shadows. How could that be? The pure elegance of his thinking is just wow. So first, he observed this difference in shadows. Step 2, he confirmed it. Then came the big idea, the hypothesis. The only way this makes sense is if the Earth's surface is curved. So for the final step, he actually hired a guy to pace out the distance between the two cities. And with that, just using sticks, eyes, feet, and his brain, he calculated our planet's circumference. And get this, he was only off by a few percent. Absolutely incredible for over 2,000 years ago. And it turns out, Eratosthenes was the director of the Great Library of Alexandria. This place was basically the first real research institute in the history of the world. It was a hub for genius where scholars studied the entire cosmos.
It was the first time we humans seriously and systematically collected all the knowledge of the world in one place.
But what happened to it? Where did all those incredible books go? Can you just imagine the secrets we could unlock if we had a library card for that place? I mean, there was a book in there by a guy named Aristarchus who figured out that the Earth orbits the sun. We had to wait nearly 2,000 years to rediscover that idea.
Yeah, the answer is just a total tragedy. The civilization that built this wonder, it fell apart. The library itself was deliberately destroyed, and its last scientist, a brilliant woman named Hypatia, was murdered by a mob. It's like civilization decided to perform brain surgery on itself. The loss is just incalculable.
But thankfully, that ancient spirit of curiosity, it did reawaken eventually. And where it's led us is to one of the most beautiful, most poetic truths in all of science, our incredibly deep physical connection to the stars themselves. This, right here, is the heart of our story.
Sagan had this wonderful way of putting it. To make an apple pie, you need the basic ingredients, right? You need atoms like carbon, oxygen, and so on. Well, except for the simplest stuff like hydrogen, which came from the Big Bang, all those other atoms, they were cooked up inside stars. And this just spells it out perfectly. Think about the elements that make you, well, you. The nitrogen in your DNA, the calcium that makes up your teeth, the iron coursing through your blood, even the carbon in that apple pie. All of it. Every single one of those essential atoms was forged in the fiery heart of a giant star, long, long ago and very far away. Those stars lived their lives, they died in these massive explosions, and they threw all that newly made stuff back out into the cosmos, basically seeding the next generation of stars and planets. And that's what it all comes down to, this incredible truth. The leftover ash of stars is now waking up. We are the universe, grown to self-awareness. We are star stuff, pondering the stars. It's a connection that is as intimate as it is undeniable.
So when you really grasp that we come from the cosmos, it forces you to see yourself and our world in a completely new light. It gives you this profound sense of perspective and responsibility. Exploring the cosmos really is, in the end, a voyage of self-discovery.
So we find ourselves living on a totally insignificant planet, orbiting a pretty humdrum star, tucked away in a forgotten corner of a universe that has way more galaxies than there are people. When you think about it like that, who are we? And who gets to speak for this entire fragile world? You know, our loyalties have grown over time, right? From just our family to our tribe to our nation. But if we're going to make it, we have to think bigger. Our loyalty has to extend to the entire human community, to the whole planet. We are, after all, children of the cosmos, and we owe our survival to it. Let's leave it with this final thought. From the cosmic perspective, every single one of us is unbelievably precious. We are a rare and, frankly, an endangered species. There aren't going to be any other humans anywhere else. It's just here, only on this one small planet. Let's try to remember that.